It's time for the whole 9 yards. Hello again, everyone. I'm Ralph Ventry, fired up, ready to go. Week 6 of the FCS season is here. It's a light week on the NEC schedule with 3 teams on a bye, but still a lot of hard work to be done. Let's get right to it with our opening drive. As we mentioned, 3 teams are idle in Week 6. Bryant, Duquesne, Sacred Heart, they're on a bye. They will all return to action in Week 7, October 15th. But now, let's take a look at the 4 teams who will take to the gridiron in Week 6. For the first time ever, Central Connecticut State will face Ivy Leaguer Penn. The Blue Devils travel down to Philly, where they'll battle on Franklin Field. Both teams will be looking for win number 2 on the season. The Quakers will be the 3rd Ivy League team to face Central in recent years. The Blue Devils have also matched up against Dartmouth and Columbia. We also know that Penn and CCSU will do battle in the 2017 season when the Quakers make the trip up to New Britain. Moving on to the other NEC versus Ivy battle, it's a pair of New York City inhabitants. Wagner, coming off a resounding homecoming victory over Sacred Heart in Week 5, is at home again. This time, they'll welcome in the Columbia Lions. Oddly enough, despite the fact that the campuses are separated by only 20 miles, this will only be the second time that Wagner and Columbia collide on the gridiron. We'll have all the action for you live right here on NEC Front Row. And now on to the marquee matchup, the NEC Game of the Week on ESPN3. It's a Keystone State clash between 2 charter members of NEC football. It's St. Francis traveling to Moon Township, where the Red Flash will take on Robert Morris. It's the NEC opener for both sides. It's homecoming weekend at RMU, and Robert Morris is also inaugurating its new president. So there will be plenty of fanfare and excitement for this one. 3 p.m. Eastern Time kickoff. Paul Dottino, Kevin Gilbride, John Schmelk on the call on that Watch ESPN app. Now it's time to take a look at whose stock is pointing upward. This week we shine the spotlight on Grimes Hill. Wagner quarterback Alex Thompson was phenomenal in the Seahawks' 45-20 victory over Sacred Heart. The New Jersey product showed off his arm strength against Sacred Heart, and he was a key reason why Wagner put up 39 first-half points and 405 yards of total offense over the game's first 30 minutes. It looks as if Alex Thompson has been gaining confidence, and his play has reflected that. Wagner's quarterback stock is definitely on the rise. And now we continue the quarterback conversation with our Twitter timeout. Bryant's senior linebacker Marquise Watson stumbled upon the NEC's all-time rankings for touchdown passes on Twitter, and he had something to say about it. It doesn't seem as if the linebacker is throwing any shade toward Dylan Beekle or RJ Noel. It just appears as if he has the ultimate confidence in Bryant's starting signal caller, Dalton Easton. Easton, who played his high school ball down in Florida, began his collegiate career at Akron before transferring to Bryant, where he is now the 3rd-year starter. He may not have accumulated the career numbers that Beekle and Noel have, but he's certainly been effective for Marty Fine's passing attack. Easton leads the NEC in touchdown passes through 5 games this season, 14 scoring strikes. He also ranks first in pass yards per game. It's no wonder why Marquise Watson has the ultimate confidence in quarterback Dalton Easton.
Somerset,
It's an NEC Audible. In this week's NEC Audible, we hear from Robert Morris head coach John Banaszak. The Colonials, who are -2 in turnover margin through the first 5 games, are prepping for the NEC opener against St. Francis. Their head coach knows that taking care of the football will be as important as ever now that conference play has arrived. In fact, it's something that's been on John Banaszak's mind since the preseason.
We've got to make sure that we can take care of the football and eliminate the turnovers. And I think that if we can accomplish that offensively, we're going to be in a position to score an awful lot more points.
In this week's Did You Know, we're talking about St. Francis stud Lorenzo Jerome, the senior safety who earned All-America honors as a kick returner last season, was just added to the Stats FCS Defensive Player of the Year watch list. Did you know the multi-talented Lorenzo Jerome has scored more non-offensive touchdowns than any other active FCS player, whether it's been via interception return, fumble return, kickoff return. Lorenzo Jerome has found pay dirt 7 times in his collegiate career. The next highest mark on the D1 FCS active leaders list, 4 touchdowns. It's clear that Lorenzo Jerome is a cut above, and you can see him and the Flash in our featured game of the week, 3 p.m. Eastern Time on ESPN3. So we've given you the whole 9 yards on NEC football heading in to Week 6. Successful signal callers, tweeting linebackers, non-offensive TDs, a little bit of everything here on the show. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you again next week at necfrontrow.com.